Okay. Okay. So welcome to the Inspiration Show with Roz and Rich. So my name is Roz Thornton and I'm a life coach. And this is Richard. Do you want to introduce yourself, Richard?
Hi guys, hi Roz, hi Gail. My name is Richard, transformational coach, and looking forward to interviewing today with you today, Roz.
Okay, excellent. And we have a special guest. Her name is Gail De Souza. Welcome, Gail.
Hi everyone. How are you? Hopefully
Okay.
everyone's all tuned in.
Yes. So I'm just going to give a quick introduction to Gail. Gail De Souza is a certified leadership love attraction coach and has been doing this work for 6 years internationally. She works with conscious, successful people who are clear that the way they're doing things isn't working anymore and they're ready to step up their game. Those who are clear that they want to experience a powerful heart-to-heart and soul-to-soul connection should definitely get in touch with Gail. She has a proven track record of helping people to find their soulmates with lasting results and a world full of expansion and joy. Wow, Gail, that sounds absolutely fantastic. So for those people out there who are wondering, where is my soulmate? Why has my soulmate not showed up yet? Gail has all the answers.
I do.
Wow.
For that warm intro.
This is a fantastic journey, isn't it, for people?
It's an amazing journey because you open up to, first of all, who you are. And more importantly, you set the necessary boundaries around you, and also emotional bonding that you do with connecting with people, and most importantly, your soulmate.
So we've got a couple of questions to ask you, Gail. So Richard, do you want to kick off?
Yeah, of course. I think the first thing really we need to know is actually, what is a soulmate relationship, Gail?
This question is posed a lot of the time. From what I've learned and my train of thought, I want to keep it really simple. Your soulmate is the person who is effectively chosen for you before you've even come into this lifetime. I've had many people who've said, oh, my soulmate's in a different dimension, or they're dead, or they're married, or they're the pet dog or sister or something. That is not your soulmate. They could be your soulmate tribe. It could be a person that you went into a karmic relationship with. It could be even someone, you're just fooling around because you're not really serious about a relationship. The actual soulmate, it's a soul mating. So effectively, you're not going to mate with your sister or your dog or anything like that. I also have people say, oh, what about my twin flame, twin soul, twin everything, soulmate, soul friend, soul everything. You can get mixed up with all the pedantics of all the words and everything, but you will just make your life more confusing by doing so. Just keep it simple. Your soulmate is the partner who is chosen for you before you came in to walk this life, to walk into a life full of love, joy, happiness, and expansion.
Who chooses?
Effectively, if for people, if you, I'm sensitive to people with regards to using the word God, but it's a partnership. You're co-creating with God. So if God doesn't resonate with you, use light, use universe, use tomato ketchup, whatever's resonating with you. Just use whatever. But
a higher power.
It's a higher power, and. I'd like to say that, imagine that you've got a blank canvas and your hand is there, and you've got the stroke with God that you're crafting who your soulmate is. And that is effectively what you're doing. Most of us don't even know this. We all just think we stumble into a relationship, or we meet someone because our parents says, or school or anything, our friends, our peer groups. So we're grown into information, we're brought up with our parents and everything like that. And that sometimes can be a hindrance for you, especially when you're looking for love.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I guess, why do I need a soulmate relationship? What are the benefits of having a soulmate relationship, Gail?
All right. So there's two parts to that question there. So why do you need a soulmate? Basically, it's to open up to love. If you can imagine, you know, like for example, if you have a healthy life with your parents, for example, and your parents got you, they understood you, they knew your emotions and actions and everything, and they know when you were going to do things wrong, or they try and stop you from doing those things wrong. Now with your soulmate, they effectively get you. You know, they get you, they understand you, and the meeting of them is like no other relationship that you've ever had. So that in part is you know, why you need a soulmate, you know, to open up in love, expand in love, and feel that love, you know, in all levels, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, you know, everything. You want to feel that with connection, and it is possible to actually feel that with another. Most people think, oh no, you have to settle, and that's not going to be the case. No, there is a person out there, living, breathing, who is waiting to connect with you. So that's one part. And then to define the other part, you know, with what you were saying about the soulmate, is imagine a world where you're confident, you're seeing your true self, you're communicating. You don't have any fears of doing everything because you've got your biggest cheerleader who gets you to walk with you in this life. Now, yes, you may have that in a friend and in you know, your parents and everything like that, but then are they willing to stake their life on you, in the sense of, you know, they've got your back even if you need them financially, if you need it emotionally, and they're encouraging you, they're your biggest cheerleader. Not only that, even physically, they actually bring a healing presence into your world, because you're harnessing the energy of love to actually help with your healing process. I just also want to mention I'm also working with on a project where the chap is a master of sound. He can play instruments, about 100 different instruments, and he's working on a project where, you know, your two sounds of a couple, if they resonate well together, to obviously do that love harmonics. Now, I never even used to think about it, but can you imagine sitting at a dinner table and then 20 years on, and you're sitting opposite someone and their voice is grating on you?
Yes,
Because
yeah,
you
completely.
hate the nagging, you hate
Yes,
the berating and everything.
we see it all the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's not going to happen when it comes to your soulmate, because their voice is that sound that is like angelic voices to you, you know, because they're resonating with you, and you would never get tired of that sound.
Wow.
No.
And how, and this question, you must get asked this question a lot, but how do I know when I've found my soulmate? Like, what are the signs that we've got to look out for?
All right. When people ask this, there's an inner knowing, first of all. All right. That inner knowing is that you feel that peace, that you've come home with that person. With regards to the other aspects of it, a lot of people in the early stages of relationship, the first 6 to 12 months, they go into that honeymoon phase. So everything's perfect.
Everything's wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
Then a reality hit, and that sort of stops.
Yeah.
That's not the case with your soulmate. With your soulmate, you actually go on to your 7th, 8th, 9th honeymoon, whatever honeymoon.
Okay.
Moons, your every moons, because you're walking in a life full of love. And you know, especially people like, for example, my mentor, she's in California, and she's helping a lot of people through this current climate of the pandemic, as well as experiencing the burning of homes and restarting your life. So you process what is going on, and then you step into your own, so that you can put your obstacles aside, that you can actually step above to help other people's. In that process, you're also sorting out your life as well, because it comes easily. You like, for example, if your house burns down, you found a house in the next week. You know, that's how powerful
Things just manifest really
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah,
when you're together.
Yes, because once again, it goes back, you're co-creating, and when a couple can co-create using all their
Right.
facets, they can build mountains, effectively. And we've seen things like this throughout history, like, for example, the Taj Mahal. Even the energy of the love that died, he was building the Taj Mahal. But that is what was required then, but even more so now. The awakening of the souls to find their soulmate is even more so now, to effectively help us step into a world full of love. And that's what we need.
That's what we need right now, isn't it? More than anything.
Yeah.
Because the world is getting more divided, obviously, with the pandemic and people having different views and like you say, different politics coming into play. So yeah, if we can get people strong together and finding their soulmates, they can work together to improve humanity and to improve the state of the planet. But the divorce rate is so high. It's something like 42% in the UK right now.
I think it was last time I saw it was 57, but yeah,
oh wow,
it's high.
Yeah.
And also even in depending on when this recording's going out, during the lockdown scenario, we've had 600% increase in domestic violence.
Yes, yeah.
So with regards to knowing your soulmate, and going back to what you were saying, Richard, your soulmate wouldn't want to harm you, hit you, abuse you, or berate you. That's not soulmate love. Divorce, majority of, for example, our parents' age, they had to marry and stick with a person. Divorce now is sort of like effectively accepted, but once again, what isn't taught to us is what good relationships are. And that if that start, I mean, some of the two topics that I always say that should be really taught in school, which aren't, is about money and love. These are two aspects. And also, like, going on top of, when you're with your soulmate, you are manifesting the money and the love and the health and the joy and the career and everything like that. You are manifesting it. And like I said, in the time now, even more so, people are questioning in relationships. The pandemic, job losses, unhappy relationships and everything like that is actually making a lot more people look within. And more so, even we've started to see the male population as well, where they may have wanted that player lifestyle, but obviously that's now not even happening anymore, because now people are more serious about relationships.
Yes.
The other thing, if you don't mind me going on, is the other thing is online dating. Online dating, there's all these people, whilst in one breath it can be good for you to connect with a person, you want to get offline as quickly as possible. If you just see online as more of an introductory side of it, but you want to go, on the phone or FaceTime, or you want to start communicating, because there is a lot of scary things that are going out there, and a lot of people are open to this vulnerability, and more so because they're stuck at home, looking for love and looking online. And I mean, I'm sorry to put a dampener on the online world, but it's not their interest for people to meet, because if everyone was meeting very rapidly and quickly, there would be no need for online dating. So there is some trickery going around there. So, but yeah, it's interesting times.
Very interesting.
Definitely. So, when are you ready to meet your soulmate? Well, when is someone like me ready to meet my soulmate?
There's no such thing as soulmate ready. Your soulmate could be waiting as soon as you step out the door. So I would like people to get that out of their head, because your soulmate could land in your lap. Because don't forget this, you're co-creating with God at the end of the day. So your journey you're meant to meet your soulmate, in 5 minutes. There's no time limit as to love. And remember, love has no bounds. But with regards to some people, it may be a slow grow, a slow, slow process. That's fine, because in the journey to your soulmate, you're expanding yourself and opening up to new heights and new levels. And whatever work you're doing for yourself may also be is helping your soulmate, because you're connected energetically. So you may be thinking, oh, where is my soulmate? I've been doing this, I've been doing this, I'm being doing that. You may have a slight blocks to love, because your block was that, oh, I have to get slim, I have to get my hair done, I have to do all this, I have to get, oh, my soulmate won't like me because I've got no boobs or something like that. I'll go and get a boob job or something like that. If that is not the case, your soulmate will love you no matter what. Flaws and alls you may find as a flaw, they may actually find as a turn on. So, and even if you look at people, even if you have to effectively look for evidence, and things like that. So you have to work through your own doubts as to love to eradicate that, and just be ready to say, my soulmates will appear any second now. Because it goes back to what you are actually thinking. So if you put all these thoughts into your head that, oh, my soulmate, I don't think I've got one, or that's what you're attracting.
So just to be clear, we've all got a soulmate that's out there.
Everyone has a soulmate out there. Some people may not want to meet their soulmate in this lifetime. Some people, they may live a life with their chosen partner, have kids, and they may be in that marriage for all of a sudden about 30-40 years, and then all of a sudden that breaks, and then a couple of years later they meet the love of their life. That side of it. We are also starting to see relationship breakdowns even in the age of 80s.
Yes.
So you don't want to be settling with someone to only find yourself when you're in your frail side of life. But even though we're transcending age, I should say, to go through a divorce and a split up, or selling houses at 80, you should be having the time of your life.
Relaxing.
So I think it's, start. I mean, one of the words that my mum always used to say, start as you mean to go on. So if your start is crap, why are you going on with it?
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
So do people need to do some inner work before they are ready? You talked about having like blocks to love. So what are these blocks, and how can we get rid of them?
Oh, blocks. Blocks can be from childhood. Sometimes you don't even know what the blocks is. I've been obviously taught, and which I actually teach, is a release process.
Okay.
So it's releasing the negativity that has actually been programmed, and it could be negative programs, patterns, past, fears, flaws, all sorts. It's when I initially thought, when I stepped into this, I thought releasing was just one part. It's not. It's a whole journey in itself. That's why many people have tried to mimic my mentors' teachings, but they don't succeed, because it is a process, and you have to really undergo the training to actually do this. And because I'm one of those devils in the details, I went really deep to understand it, because I wanted to be the best coach out there when it comes to soulmate relationship, because it's in my interest for people to meet their soulmate, so that we do create this world full of love, because I don't want to see any more suffering. I want to see it. I want to see this world. And when you see soulmate relationships, that's what they do. They're flourishing in that love and joy and happiness.
Right. So, I mean, my thing is, where do you find your soulmate? Like, where is she? Where do you go to find her?
Sainsbury's. They're all in Sainsbury's.
Have you got some examples of where people find their soulmates? Where do I find my
Or
soulmate?
Walmart.
You can meet, you can meet your soulmate anywhere. It depends once again, because I've mentioned, I haven't mentioned, but I do have a list. And in my list is I want a romantic encounter. I don't know what that romantic encounter is, but that's what I want. So that is your program belief into what you want to have in your meeting. So if someone some people are introverts, extroverts, ambiverts. So some people may just want a quiet meeting that someone would knock on their door. We have people that have, for example, they were going out to take their garbage, two different people, they were taking out the rubbish at the same time. And it turned out that they live in the same block of flats and they met taking out the rubbish. That's one thing. The other thing is, like, for example, you can meet someone in the UK. We have the Tube. You can meet them on the Tube. You can meet them standing in their line of a coffee shop, a supermarket, anywhere. You can. It's just been really open to love, because once again, love has no bounds. We have people who meet at the airport. We've had people who've met and they felt that they were really connected and felt that this was a soulmate, and they ran off to Vegas and had got married in about say three months or something like that. Not that I encourage that.
But it happens. It does happen. Yeah.
It does happen. But dating is to be enjoyed. It's supposed to be relished. It's the fun time. And a lot of people may once again go back to having a fear about dating. They just don't like dating, and that's because of breakups, past relationships, and they don't want to go through that whole process.
Yeah.
Dating we should really say to people that dating is a glorious time. It's where you're trying on someone to see if they fit. And one thing I do say is, until you're committed into the relationship, so like moving in together, engagements, weddings, effectively you are still available.
Okay, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Because a lot of us think, we're dating them for, you're going on dates for 2-3 weeks. Oh yes, you're now committed. No.
Gotta get a ring on it.
That was a lot of no's. That was a lot of no's.
Gotta get a ring on it.
And so more often people into soulmate, it does happen very quickly, because you want to spend the rest of your life with this person. And especially as you advance spiritually, then there's these other aspects that are of our gifts that we've all got within us that we start tapping into, like telepathy. Sometimes you can read them. Even energetically touch, you can actually feel that electric shock, that spark, where everyone says about the spark. We all just think it's a metaphor, but it is a reality. When two souls are meant to connect, there's that spark there. I mean, this effectively, when I look at it, you need a degree to learn about how to meet your soulmate. And what's good, I can from doing all the work, I can really see. I can actually see who are in soulmate relationships. But it's not to say that if you're with someone that you just go out and to get divorced and everything like that. You can, through a number of techniques and navigations, get your relation to a soulmate level. And sometimes if you are a couple that are meant to split, then you will do so, but you'll do it more amicably with more love. And then unfortunately you won't have the solicitors taking all your money when you go through the divorce courts.
Yes, that's not a bad thing as well, is it?
So could you have more than one soulmate in a lifetime? Could you be married and then unfortunately something happens to your partner, maybe they die tragically, and then could you meet somebody else and then you have a second soulmate? Could that work?
I mean, death is a tough thing to deal with. So some people believe that they have their soulmate and they've died, but in truth, you only have one soulmate. It's a soulmate that you will walk through your life together. And more often, you find if one party dies, shortly after, the
Early,
other one will go, because you've done your correction, or not correction, your meeting, your joining, your enhancement in love in this lifetime. So there's no more for you to do. So then you move on into whatever happens thereafter life. But there is one soulmate. I sometimes, when people say that, it says, I say to people, stop being greedy. You've only got one soulmate, you know. You can't have 50 soulmates. And you know, I'm also because there's a lot of people who are not from a spiritual world who are coming into this, you know, from a relationship point of view. There is unfortunately, I have to be tough, there's a lot of woo-woo people out there who do start saying, oh yes, you have several hundred soulmates. No, that's not the case. Because they are actually putting a damage into a person's evolution process of expansion, when you're meant to be growing in love with one person, not 1,000 per person. The 1,000 person comes when we've created a world full of love.
Right.
Hey.
Fantastic.
Right.
Have you got any more questions?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, I was thinking, okay, so then you meet your soulmate, then how do you, you know, is there a way of maintaining it? Is there a soulmate handbook? How do you stay together? Do you automatically just stay together when you're with your soulmate? What happens?
You stay together because this is the person that you love, and because what happens is your intellect, if I was to say, would to step in, that you're creating your world full of love. So your world is going to be different to my world, different to Roz's world. We all have different wants and desires in this world. And remember, the thoughts that are come into our head are planted by God, and they're thoughts for you to manifest and create in this lifetime. So now my journey may, for example, be, I want to go traveling to China and the moon. That's too far off. But that journey, as we are now seeing with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, the rush to get to the moon and to Mars, the journey to the moon is happening, and that's what the journey you and your soulmate will probably take together. So there's no point in me having a soulmate who doesn't like flying on planes, and who doesn't have a desire to go to the moon. Because, for example, with me, I want to go to the moon, and I want to have singing in the background fly me to the moon. So there's no point in me having a soulmate if he's going to be stuck on Earth and I'm going to the moon.
Yeah.
So then they wouldn't be your soulmate if they were scared of flying. Yeah.
And it's also in all of us. We all have this heartfelt end to the world suffering. So mine, for example, maybe I don't believe anyone should starve in this world. So I always had this belief that, for example, we could create Eden Project domes in different climatized worlds, different climatized weather zones. Now, I got a touch of this idea when I went to the Epcot Centre, for example.
Yeah.
This year, I'm going to visit the Eden Project to get more, and it's taken me 20 years to get there. But can you imagine this desire? Because my bigger desire is to end the suffering of starvation, and no one's no. So your soulmate is pairing up with you to be in that similar journey. Or yours may be that you don't want women to be battered, or you don't want men to feel not emasculated in this time where women are trying to find their own leveling of life in an equal world of faith. So that is the higher side as to the soulmate love. It could be bringing kids into the world, but with kids with good self-esteem, that they're not that they can have that growing up foundation of infinite possibilities to be our divine higher selves, you know.
So your soulmate would be somebody who was on a similar journey.
Yeah, similar. They would have the similar likes and wants. It's not to say that you won't have any discussions or anything like that. You're going to have the most powerful discussions with them. That's if you like to talk. Sometimes some people like to sit in silence.
It's true.
But you're connecting with, like for example, your deepest friend and your deepest talks you've had with, if you've got a good healthy relationship with your parents, that deep conversation, that is what you're having with your soulmate. And more often I find with a lot of my clients is that they feel that their partners don't understand them, they don't communicate with them, and these are the people who are in couples that I'm helping, because I also do help people in couples to get into this soulmate relationship level. But what I say to you is, if you're single, think carefully, because you think more carefully about your mobile phone, about your car, about web design for your own business, more than you do actually your relationship and the person that you're lying next to. So let's start getting wise up to who we walk through with this life within a world full of love. Get wise.
And also, like, people always say to me, how do you know when you've met the right person? How did you know it was right when you met your husband? And I always say, well, because it was just easy. It was easy. There was no games. There was no stress. There was no, oh, I wonder what he's thinking, or, oh, I'm going to wait 3 hours to send a text message and all this stuff. And I don't want to seem too keen. I don't want to seem too disinterested. All these little games that you sometimes play when you're dating. There was none of that. It was just very, very straightforward and very easy. And I always say to people, if it's easy, then it's going to work.
Yeah. I mean, some people will go through the dating dance because they're trying on for someone, but that's the fun side.
Yes.
But effortless, that you don't have to, effort in that relationship. And it can be even down to silly little things like taking the rubbish out, or you don't have to remind them all the time to do that, because when you're asking them to do something, they want to do it because they purely love you. So they want to do, like a mother, when a child, you want to do stuff for your child because you love them, But one thing I do also have to say is that you don't want to make your soulmate or anyone your source apart from God. And I have a lot of people saying, oh, my soulmate's my everything and everything like that. I'm like, no, no, because you need that. We're all trained to have that freedom. We all want that freedom. Even in your relationship, you want that sense of freedom. So to have that too much attachment, like a child has a cling on, is not soulmate love. And that's why, before you even, if you're, like, for example, now you're single, this is the time that you start making the understanding of good, healthy relationships one of love. And these are the techniques and tools that I teach my clients that they can use for the rest of their life. It's not that, I go to a weekend workshop and I learn it and then 7 days I'm using it and then forget about it. No, these tools I teach people to embrace it and harness and learn it in their mental equivalent, so that they walk through life using it.
Okay. So go on, Richard. Were you going to say something?
No. I was just saying, that's fantastic. I mean, you don't think about any of those things, really, do you? Like relationship-wise, and your younger life and how it can just benefit all of those things.
I think what happens with a lot of people is they get together young, like really young, before they actually know who they are and what they're about. And I think if you think how much you've changed since you would say 19 or 20, all of us are a bit more advanced in years. And it's like, if I think about my own life, and I've probably changed 3 or 4 times before I've become the person that I am today. If I'd have been married to my first boyfriend, or it it would never have worked because I've evolved so many different times.
I think, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, is that an issue when people get married very, very young?
Well, once again, when it comes to your soulmate, there's no bounds. So I won't write it off that some people aren't meant to meet at a young age, but I do find a lot of people do meet people on the wrong, how do you put it, wrong soil.
Wrong soil.
So for example, like a flower, if you put a flower in like a polluted garden, the flower may sprout up, but it'll have a lot of thorns or garbage around it.
Okay.
But you want to get your soil right so that the flower can flourish, and if not, have more flourishing flowers around it. So when and how that is explained in everyday life is if you're brought up in a family environment where everyone's arguing, that's all you know. You slip out into your relationship, a family full of arguing, and that's where people meet somebody of their similar family background, but not necessarily their soulmate. And or if not, you know, you hear stories about, for example, people who've been in abused backgrounds go on to meeting the next relationship from an abuser. That's not soulmate love. And that goes back to people not understanding what love is and what a healthy self-esteemed relationship is. And I'd say that's the mass, you know. Even though I'm blessed that whatever relationship I've actually had, it was full of romance and love and joy, I can honestly say not a single one of them would be the ones that I would have walked through life with, because I would have ended up hating them all. They weren't right for me. Or for example, I was lucky I had an anchor, if you put it, of going to the moon. You know, so it's just that people, they're so wanting to be loved, to have love and live a life of love, that sometimes they're not looking in the right light for love.
And I think that people refer to people as their other half, and that always kind of grates on me, because I just think you know, and it's a union of two wholes is going to be much stronger than two halves coming together to try and make a whole.
And I think that goes back to the Trinity, 1, 2, and then creating the third, which is your world. Of bringing the Trinity together. But settling is not soulmate love. Berating in a relationship is not soulmate love. And even people, there's no, once again, I would like to stress is there's no bounds to love. So religion can't stop two people from finding love. Two political threats, like for example, you know, like nobody's allowed into America, no one's allowed into the UK side of it. Love will find a way. You know, that's the philosophy. And I have to also, something that I'm drummed into, and I also want to share to the audience, nothing will keep your soulmate from you. Nothing. So if you have that premises in your head, then you've set yourself for a good start.
That's great to know. I think a lot of people feel that, like, love, they don't deserve love, or you know, it's not going to happen for them, it's not going to come to them. So I think for people to hear that their soulmate is on their way, then you know, that's great.
And what I also try to get across to people, you're perfect, whole and complete as you are. And to your soulmate, they will see that perfectness, wholeness and completeness.
Lovely. That's nice. Amazing.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Before we wrap up, Gail, have you got any offers or any courses, books or anything like that you want to talk about?
What I would do is I've got this is something I mentioned. Another part is my Spiritual Entrepreneur's Love of Money. I do have that on Amazon, But I'd like to, for any of your 3 people to give a coaching introductory sessions to the first 3 people that communicate you.
Okay. Yes.
And I'll do an introductory. So I'll do 3 for you, Richard, and for you, Roz. So
excellent. So 6. So
yeah,
6 people you'll do an introductory session.
Yeah, and that's for your clients,
for our audience.
or audience who's looking for love.
Excellent.
Like
yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
So what we'll do is that when we put this out, we'll put out a an offer.
You can do it as a competition offer.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And who they are.
And then let us have your links as well, so that people can connect with you. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. Any last comments, questions, advice, Richard, that you want from Gail?
And I think that is fantastic. I think the book probably is something that people need to take a look at. I mean, if it's connected to soulmates, if success is connected, you're talking a lot about success is connected to soulmate, being a soulmate relationship, strong couples and stuff, then I look forward to reading your book, and I'm guessing people should have a look at it as well.
Yeah, so just post the information to us, and we'll put it in the links.
And Roz, just if you just want to do like or anyone, and just I'm just sort of like putting an imagination into people.
Okay.
Sorry, you did cut out the final bit, so I wasn't sure what you were saying.
The final bit is just doing a final word. But if you're open to it, just close your eyes. I just want to do like a little, how do you put it? A vision of the future.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right,
go on then. What now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Take one deep breath in, and then out. In and out. One more in and out. As your soulmate is out there, you're either with them or on the journey to them. Everyone gets love, and we can create a world full of love, powerful people walk through this love and abundance and joy for everyone. And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
for that.
thank you so much.
And I hope that radiates out to everyone out there who's looking for their soulmate. And I hope that we've been able to touch you, even if it's just a little bit, and that you are now more open to finding your soulmate. Thank you so much. Right, I'm going to end it there. And sorry, just to say thank you so much, Gail, for your time. And Richard, thank you very much.
Thanks, Richard.